What you need to know about the film Sinners. Before I talk about the film, I should mention that I've had a chronic illness since I was 17. I've said before that science fiction helped save my life in the early years when I was terribly sick, but something else helped me just as much: jazz and blues. When I got sick and never got better, my then boyfriend dumped me because I was no fun anymore. My friends Elijah and Tim were really upset when they heard this, and they stepped up to make sure that I wasn't completely alone in that terrible time. The biggest gift they gave me was to introduce me to jazz and blues, because if you're stuck at home sick in bed, you might as well be listening to the best music. It's not an exaggeration to say that jazz and blues changed my life. It gave me this amazing thing to focus on when my body was constantly suffering. And of course, it spoke deeply to me because those genres come out of suffering, out of creating art from pain. They taught me how to create art from pain as well. So when I say I could not love the blues more, I mean it, especially the Delta blues artists like Charlie Patton, Robert Johnson, Son House, and too many to list right here. So vampires and the blues, that movie was going to be, at the very least, two great tastes that taste great together. But it is so much more than that. First off, let me say as a vampire writer that this is one of the best vampire stories I've ever seen. I'm not sure I'll ever write such a good vampire story, but I am inspired to try. This isn't self-doubt or faux humbleness. I know I'm a good writer, but this is just next level storytelling. The depths of the aspects of vampire mythology tied into history and culture make this story resonate on a profound level. Every aspect of the vampires and their interaction with society around them is perfectly tied together with multi-layered meaning. If you're someone who thinks about the nuts and bolts of storytelling, it leaves you breathless. But even if you just enjoy films without thinking about that stuff, you know you've been told a great story, an important story. And if you love the blues like I do, it adds a whole extra level of awed appreciation. The scene in the middle of the film where Preacher Boy starts doing his thing and the ancestral past and descendant future come together as he and the audience are taken over by the music, there were tears running down my face. It was so beautiful and so perfect. But again, even if you don't know the first thing about the blues, you can still appreciate how the music is worked into the film and the incredible score. You don't need a deeper knowledge of the blues or vampires or anything to have an amazing 2 hours. Speaking of vampires, can I just say that I work very hard at exploring the monstrous in my vampire series, but folk music singing vampires are the most terrifying version of the vampiric possible. In my Blood and Ancient Scrolls series, a huge focus for me is exploring humanity through the dark mirror of the monstrous. Sinners is an absolute masterclass in that. I am humbly sitting at Ryan Coogler's feet and learning everything he has to teach. Maybe I should be upset that after almost a decade of writing vampires and 4 books published, Mr. Coogler just breezes in and does all those things I've been trying to do even better than I ever have. But this film is just so damn good, I can't be mad at it. And I can only be grateful that Mr. Coogler has turned his attention to this genre. He's shown us what we can do if we're not afraid to use vampires for what they're meant to be. Not just sparkly lust objects, but explorations of the darkest sides of humanity. So thank you, Mr. Coogler, for showing us how it's done. And if you haven't seen Sinners yet, run to the theater like you're being chased by vampires. A film of this quality should keep filling theater seats for far longer than the usual rehashed Hollywood pap. Get out there and support great cinema, because films like this are too few and too far in between. Follow me for more of this nonsense.